Good evening, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. My name is Rabbi Ron Goldberg. I welcome you to our Shabbat services. I'll share with you guys, I'm having a little bit of soreness, I'm a little verblungent. Who remembers the Charles Schulz cartoon character, Linus? What does Linus always have with him? That's right, a security blanket. I am running without my security blanket tonight. The Siddur that I marked up, that I put all my little notations in, is safe. It's sitting on my bookshelf at home, but that's not helping me a whole lot here in Ventura. So I'm feeling a little bit like Linus, which I guess is better to feel like Linus than like Pigpen, but that's a discussion for another day. Please join me on page 13 as we welcome in Shabbat with song. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei malachim hakadosh baruch hu. Baruch hu nila shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei malachim hakadosh baruch hu. Seidchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamalachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Join me on page 15, L'chu neranena. L'chu neranena, l'chu neranena, l'chu neranena, l'Adonai. L'chu neranena, l'chu neranena, l'chu neranena, l'Adonai. Naria, naria, l'tzur yishenu, nekad mapana betoda. Naria, naria, l'tzur yishenu, Bismi wrote Narialo. L'chu neranena, l'chu neranena, l'chu neranena, l'Adonai. L'chu neranena, l'chu neranena, l'chu neranena, l'Adonai. Let's read page 15 responsively in the English. I'll do the first part. Let us sing to Adonai, let us rejoice in our Creator. Let us greet God with thanksgiving, singing psalms of praise. In God's hand rests the world he fashioned, sea and land, abyss and mountain peak, all are God's. Harden not your heart in the way of your ancestors who tried and tested me in the wilderness, though they had witnessed my miracles. In indignation, therefore, did I vow, never would there reach my land, the land of peace, the land of rest. We continue on page, I said, without my security blanket. Let's do the English on page 19 responsively again. Adonai is sovereign, nations tremble, God is enthroned on high, the very earth quivers. The sovereign mighty rules with love of justice. You alone bring about equity, ordaining justice and compassion for the people of Jacob. Moses and Aaron and Samuel, God's chosen ones, called out to Adonai, who answered them in a pillar of cloud. You responded to them with compassion, even as you rebuked them for their offenses. Amen. Page 20, let's do the Hebrew. I don't think we've done this one in a while. Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai, Kavod Vaoz, Havul Adonai, Kavod Shemo, Ishtachavu Adonai behadrat Kodesh, Kol Adonai Alamayim, El Kavod Hirim, Adonai Almayim Rabim. Kol Adonai Ba'koach, Kol Adonai Behadar, Kol Adonai Shover Arazim, Vayashaver Adonai et Arzei Halvanon, Vayarkidem Kemo Egel, Levanon B'Sirion Kemo Ben Re'emim. Kol Adonai Chosef Lavotesh, Kol Adonai Yachil Mibar, Yachil Adonai Mibar Kadesh, Kol Adonai Yechole Ayalot, Yechasof Ya'arot Uvachilo Kulo, Omer Kavod. Adonai lamavu yasha vayeshev Adonai melech leolam Adonai oz le'amo yitin Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. And one of my favorite things on Shabbat is to do visualizations. In Lecha Dodi is Kabbalistic in origin. We know that it comes from 16th century Sfat. Anybody besides me been to Sfat? What do you notice outside of Sfat, on the outside of the city? Beautiful mountains and forests. It's up in the hills. And just to give you guys a hint, my wife and my retirement plan is to open up a bed and breakfast at the bottom of the hill. So you're all invited. I'll give you a discount on the rooms. But the point being, in this beautiful place of Sfat, the imagery we have is of the Kabbalists leaving the inside and going to the great outdoors to welcome the Shabbat bride. And I find that just such a moving sight. And we say, like, where do we see God? Where do we feel the divine presence? And it's not always in a synagogue. It's not always in a large sanctuary. Sometimes it's sitting on the beach and watching the motion of the waves. Sometimes it's being at Yosemite and seeing the wonders of nature. Sometimes, besides me, who's been to the Grand Canyon? Anybody besides me go like, ah! Just utter amazement that such a thing exists and is created. Those are the types of awe that we get when we leave the inner world and step outside. My friends, page 21, Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishme'anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem ultiferet v'lid chila, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki makor habracha, Merosh Mikedem Nesucha, Sof Maaseh Machshavati La, Lecha Dodi Likra Kala, Pnei Shabbat Nekabela, Mikdash Melech Ir Melucha, Kumitzei Mito Hafecha, Rav Lach Shevet Be'emek HaBacha, V'hu yachamol alaychem la, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. We turn to page 22. We rise and face the door, which is back over there somewhere. Very last paragraph. Boi vishalom ateret bala, gam v'simcha usohola, tok emune am segula, boi kala, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. You may be seated. This is traditionally was the time when the people who were in mourning would enter the congregation. I haven't seen it in real life, but I suspect in some of the more traditional congregations you still see it. So you would welcome them with these words: "Hamakom yenechem echem, b'telk sharav leitzion v'Yerushalayim." May the Holy One, blessed be He, comfort you, and so they're the mourners for Zion and Jerusalem. Okay, today's quick Hebrew lesson. We just did an interesting word in that last paragraph. Okay, we say Toch Emune Am Segula. What is a Segula in modern Hebrew? Anybody know? What was it? No, that's a Igul. You're close though. Hebrew has a lot of sound-alike words that it makes me crazy too. Okay, a Segula is one of two things. It's either like treasured, or it's a charm. Not like you're charming, but like a magical charm. So I used to, every morning at the Jewish home, there was this lovely, lovely Persian lady, very, very, very traditional, would have me recite these blessings with her every morning. And I'm reading them and I'm going, I have no idea what they are. And then I'm suddenly realizing one of the phrases was, Segalot neged ayin harav v'machshafot. And then I go, wait a second, charms against the evil eye and witches? That's what I'm saying? And I thought, you know what? Who am I to argue with her? Did that every morning. So anyway, it sticks in my mind that way. We'll come back to, we'll do witches and demons another time, but we'll come back and explore that. We continue on page 23, Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Ulzamer l'simcha elyon, Ulzamer l'simcha elyon, Lehagid baboker chasdecha, Ve'emunatcha baleilot, Ale asor ve'ale navel, Ale higayon ve'kimor, Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Ulzamer l'simcha elyon, Ulzamer l'simcha elyon. On page 28, we're going to rise for the Baruch Hu and welcome in the evening service. We rise and face the ark. Baruch Hu at Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. May be seated. Baruch at Adonai Lemelech Haolam. Asher bidvaro mariv aravim b'chokmah poteach she'arim. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, who rules the universe. Your word brings on the evening dusk. You open with wisdom the gates of the dawn sky. You design the day with wondrous skill, setting up the succession of seasons and arrange the stars in the sky according to your will. Adonai Tsevaot, you create day and night, rolling away the light from before the darkness and the darkness away from light. Eternal God, your sovereignty shall rule forever. Embrace us. Praise to you, Adonai, for each evening's dusk. Mavir yonu mevi laila, mavdal yonu vein laila, Adonai Tsevaot Shemo, El Chai v'Kayam, Tamidin lo kalenu leolam vaed, Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv Araviv. Page 29, let's do the English first, then we'll sing together in the Hebrew. With constancy you have loved your people Israel, teaching us Torah and mitzvot, statutes and laws. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down to sleep and when we rise, we shall think of your laws and speak of them, rejoicing always in your Torah and mitzvot, for they are our life and the length of our days. We will meditate on them day and night, Never take your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves the people Israel. Avat olam Beit Yisrael, amhavta, Torah u'mitzvot, hukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shokbeinu u'vekumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu v'orech yameinu, u'v'hem negei yaman v'layla, Olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We turn to page 30. We cover our eyes. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavcha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol meodecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, U'lechtecha v'derech, u'shakbecha uv'kumecha, u'shartam liot al yadecha, v'yilatotafot beinenecha, u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha. Link, can you read the English for us, please? You shall love. You. Amen. We continue silently to the bottom of page 31. V'ma'antis keru v'asitem akomis votai v'aitem kadoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeitichem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem leElohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet. Continue in the middle of page 32. Malkuto baratzon kiblu alehem. Moshe u'Miriam u'vnei Yisrael. L'chanu shira simcha rabah v'amru chulam. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Norati lo tosef eleh. U'techa ruvanecha b'kiram lifnei Moshe. De'eli anu v'amru. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai Yaakov. Ugalo miyad hazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Page 33, we have one of my favorites, the prayer both for peace and a peaceful night's sleep. Let's read together in the English. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us the shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us. Our gracious and merciful ruler, guard our going and grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise to you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us and over his people Israel and over Yerushalayim. Usmor seitenu v'enu l'chem l'shalom me'ata v'ad olam ufros olenu sukat shlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai Aparesu Kashlom Alenu, El Kolam Israel, Be'al Yerushalayim. Page 34, Chetzi Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah. Yomadi brachi utev yamlik machute. V'chaye chon uvyom uchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kari. Bimaru. Yeheshmei rabbah mevorach. Yom me'omaya. Yibar. Yiparak, Yishtabak, Yipar, Vitraman, Vietnase, Yitadar, Vitalev, Yitalal, Shemeda Kudisha, Bela, Mikobrachata, Vishirata, Tushbechata, Venechemata, Damiran Vilma, Bimaru. Amen. We rise for the silent Amidah, pages 35b through page 40. The text here are the prayers that come from our own hearts. Ose shalom bimromav, huyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, imru, amen. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yase shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Imaru, page 48, Kaddish Shalem. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah. Yamal debrak yirtev yamlik malchute. V'chayakon of yomechon uchadakol beit Yisrael. V'agalav izman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach. V'yalam me'omaya. Yivrak yishtabaki par b'traman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalav shmei kudisha. Leila mikol barchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Damiran b'yom avimru. Tichabel salkon avarochon. Dekoshok haramavahon dishmaya v'imru. Amen. Yishlam rabin shem. Chaim of kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom ramav. V'yaseh shalom. Alinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Page 49, my grandchildren's favorite part of the evening, Kiddush. So there's a big debate. Do you stand or sit for Kiddush? And of course, Neil knows the old joke about this. We don't remember what the tradition is, so we go ask the wisest man, the oldest man in the congregation, Mr. Goldberg, what do you remember? Do we stand? No, I don't remember that. Do we sit? No, I remember that. We're arguing about it. That I remember. My friends, stand or sit, but please join me up for Kiddush on page 49. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho, b'avav ratzon, hinkilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila, l'mikrei kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim, ki vanu vakarta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, b'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. HaYam. We'll sit down for a moment. I'm going to, as I'm still getting used to driving to Ventura. I have finally remembered what the exit is, and I've had people in the community ask me, Ron, where is Congregation HaYam? And I've discovered, depending upon who I'm talking to, depends upon what landmark I give them. So for some people, Ron, Tommy's. So we're right by Tommy's. For some people, we're just down the block from Kaiser. For other people, we're right across the freeway from Golf and Stuff. So it depends upon who we're talking to. And as I drive out here, I'm going through my playlist on my phone, and I've got to get back in the habit on Friday nights of putting on somewhat more religiously elevated music. I was listening to soundtracks on the way in. Now, some of them are pretty much, they're just fluff. They're just fun. Besides me, who has gone to the midnight showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Really, Neil? Nice to hear. Even better. So for Purim, we'll be doing the time warp. Let's just put that into our notebook now and just know that it's going to be happening. Ron, do you remember back in our AZA days that we used to have various songs we made up and some that we can't share in public space? So one of the songs I was listening to was the soundtrack from a relatively well-known American musical, West Side Story. And there's the classic song, I think it's Rita Moreno who sings it in the original soundtrack, Life is All Right in America. But the song before that one was the opening song from Prelude, When You're a Jet. So how does that go? Very good. When you're a jet all the way. Okay. For some reason I had going through my mind, I'm sure this is from my AZA days, and I got to dig out the words to it. When you're a Jew all the way from your Brit Milah to your Bar Mitzvah day. We're going to dig that out and get those words down again for Purim. But on a more serious topic, we're talking about Israel Electric. I want to continue a little bit of the discussion. First, I have to share my orientation. I am an advocate for Israel. I served as a volunteer in the IDF. I was a volunteer in January of 2024 as a volunteer chaplain with the IDF. I am not the guy who's going to be the impartial one and plead the Palestinian cause. I look forward to peace with our cousins. I believe that solution is out there, but I'm not their advocate. But I'm a big believer in being intellectually honest. When you go into social media and you see some of the stuff that's posted, I have to say this. I'm kind of okay when I'm interacting with a Muslim from any part of the world, and the hate that I understand it from them, from him or her. I understand it. It makes sense to me. I don't know, I don't like it, but I get it. When I find myself interacting with a non-Muslim from the United States, Canada, South Africa, England, Ireland. If I stay in the conversation long enough, you know what I discover about that other person? They couldn't care less about Palestine. You know what bothers them, Ron? I'm going to tell you. They are bothered that the Jewish people have a state. They are bothered that the Jewish people are armed and that we fire back. Well, we'll get to that one. That bothers them enormously. That we fire back seems to take the fun away, and that's what bothers them. Advocates for Palestine, I run into relatively few of them. People who hate that the Jews have a state, a lot of them. And something that happened this week really caught my eye. Going back to being intellectually honest, I'd rather have somebody say to me, I couldn't care less about Palestine. I just hate the Jewish state. Let's take it a step further. As you said, Ron, I hate Jews. I could work with that. It's intellectually honest. Who saw the news out of Canada with the Toronto International Film Festival? Anybody see this besides me? Okay. My mother would have a word for this. No, chutzpah would be a step up. V'shugana. Okay. Chutzpah, Shonda also. So chutzpah means like, you're really gall. I had another word in mind it's also 4 letters, but that it'll work. Shonda, for the non-Yiddish speaker, is basically a shame, right? A disgrace. Okay. Their reason for not wanting to show a documentary about October 7th was twofold. Number one, they had security concerns that the anti-Israel protesters would be so loud and so violent. They were scared of that. There's a word for this, bupkis. Okay, that's ridiculous. That's nonsensical. I think in the academic world, you call that a heckler's veto. You don't let the hecklers veto what you're going to talk about. Their other reason, and this is where Shonda comes in, they were worried about copyright infringement on the Hamas video. And I sat there reading this, and when I first saw it on social media, one of my classmates who's now in Israel posted it, and I'm thinking, yeah, Joe's pretty right of center. Is he making this up? I mean, it was so Alice in Wonderlandish. I had to think he's making it up. And then within 3 or 4 hours, I started seeing the story on more mainstream news outlets. Hamas proudly videotaped and live streamed themselves invading Israel, committing mass murder, committing sexual assault, committing kidnapping, committing hostage taking. To say that we didn't have a photo release from Hamas, we're worried about their copyright infringement, is nonsensical. I would have much preferred the Toronto people saying, we don't like Israel. I feel like that would have been intellectually a lot more honest. And I'll be candid, I've been hearing that they've reversed their decision. But Neil, I've got to say this, I haven't seen that in the mainstream press in a definitive statement. What I've seen is we're working with the producers of the movie to have it shown. That's not reversing your decision. Okay? Does that mean you're working on getting the releases from Hamas? Or does that mean like, hey, you know what? We were wrong on square one and we apologize. One thing I really believe in is at least be intellectually honest about the argument you're making. This argument of the terrorists need to sign off because we're worried about copyright infringement is nonsensical. It's nonsensical. And that's where I think we have to call out that type of thing. Anybody else read the story, have any other thoughts on it? Anything that I missed here? Neil? Like I said, I don't have a problem with somebody saying to me, I believe in Palestinian nationhood. I'll tell you guys a secret. Me too. You know why? Because I can't think of another solution that makes sense. It's not Jewish thought in our modern times to exile 6 million people. It's just not our thinking. So when I think about what makes sense, that makes sense. If you're going to have an argument, at least be intellectually honest about it. I'd rather the haters at least come out and own their hate. My friends, my thought for the week, Shabbat Shalom. We continue. Page 51, we rise for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tei kedula liotzeir b'reishit, shelo asanu kigoye aratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, mishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Kakatuv b'Toratech Adonai Yimloch le'olam va'ed v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz v'yom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. May be seated. We're going to do Mourner's Kaddish. We'll do a quick teaching I came across I want to share. And we'll do because no service is complete without the announcements. And then we'll finish with Adon Olam. First of all, Mourner's Kaddish, page 52. All those who are in mourning, all those observing Yortzeit, please join me. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah v'yalmad yibrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon u'chay d'chol beit Yisrael v'agala v'izman kariv v'imru Yehei shmei rabba mevorach v'olam omei omaya Yitbarak v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudisha ve'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran b'alma v'imru Yehi shlamar rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Oseh shalom b'ramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. I'm going to back us up to page 51. In that third paragraph, Neil, do the Jewish people believe in converting the entire world into being Jewish? Everybody pretty much agrees on that one? No dissent on that? So for the first time in recorded history, every Jew in the room agrees on the same thing. Wow. There's a phrase in the Hebrew, lefanot elecha kol rishei haaretz. And what that literally says is, they will turn to you, you being God, all the evil of the world. We're not saying become Jewish. We're just saying turn to God. Turn to God. And we're going to explore that over the course of the next year also. What does it mean to turn to God? And what does that mean to different people? Announcements. Brenda, we read the Refuah Shlema list tomorrow, right? During Torah service? Okay, very good. Then again, welcome to Erev Shabbat services this evening. Just a quick schedule for what's coming up. We're going to do live services tomorrow morning right here at 10 a.m. Join us either live or on live stream. Friday, September 5th, Erev Shabbat services, 7:30, live stream live. And then Saturday the 6th, again, live and live stream. Classes on Zoom. First of all, Fran is continuing her Musar sessions at 7 p.m. August 21st. No classes in the month of September, but they will resume in October. On August the 28th at 7 p.m., Fran and I are teaching a high holiday class. Should I tell you the topics? Why not? I'm going to be teaching about shofar and on Kaporot. Fran is going to be teaching, I think, Fran, I'm blanked on what it is your topic was. It's I apologize, but it'll be very worthwhile. I hope that you guys will join us. Take part in the Apples and Honey fundraiser. It's a great way to recognize everybody. It's a fine fundraiser for the congregation. The order forms are available online and also in the lobby here. Happy birthday, Sheila Miles. I don't have an exact date for that, but happy birthday. She's our birthday girl this month. My friends, we finish up the services this evening with Adon Olam on page 54. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'hefso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'yacharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimlok Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh V'hu yeh b'tifara, v'hu echad v'ein sheni, v'hamshil lo l'chakbira, b'li reshit, b'li tachlit, v'lo ha'oz v'hamisra, v'hu eli v'chai go'ali, v'tzor chevli b'yetzara, V'hu nisi umanosli menat kosi b'yom ekra b'yado afki ruchi b'eti shan v'yaira b'imruchi geviyati Adonai li v'lo ira. Shabbat shalom, everybody.